Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Jazzwares Mortal Kombat Classics Series Scorpion figure. Now, I just found these guys in my local Toys R Us. I found Scorpion, Noob, and Sub-Zero. And to be honest, all the other ninjas, including Noob and Sub-Zero, are being released in a big ninja pack that it's actually popping up in some stores now. I haven't found it. But the only ninja not in the pack is Scorpion, so I went ahead and picked this guy up. As you can see here, he has absolutely no accessories whatsoever. It's just the figure, which is kind of disappointing. But the packaging's nice enough. It's very reminiscent of the 3-pack of Cyborgs. You got the character selection from MK1, and down here you can see the arcade cabinet. So, an awesome looking little figure. Let's open him up. And here we have Scorpion out of the packaging. Now, there's a lot of excess flesh-colored plastic, especially up around the shoulder. You can actually see it's kind of falling off as you move the joint. It's very, very stiff, and you got to break a lot of that out. I mean, it's all over the place. So that's unfortunate, but not horrible. Although his arm's nearly, well, it's not impossible to move, but it requires a lot of excess force. There we go. Now, this guy, his paint's still falling off. He's actually a fairly nice sculpt. Let's get him posed up here. Of course, he does have a little bit of yellow paint up there on his top of his head, but I'll dot that with a Sharpie and it'll be okay. He's a nice looking figure, pretty reminiscent. Well, he looks a lot like the ninjas look in Mortal Kombat, obviously, like as he should. All the ninjas are going to use this exact same sculpt, the ones that are out now and the ones that are going to be in the pack later. So, his articulation, he does a full 360 at the head, no real up and down. You've already seen how stiff he is at the arms. He also bends at the elbow, spins at the wrist, does a full 360 at the abs, a very slight crunch, no main waist articulation. Let's go forward, out, bend at the knee, and have an ankle joint. So, pretty standard articulation. Now, let's get him back in a pose here. No real accessories is really disappointing with this guy. I mean, I can understand that with the same generic mold, they were definitely looking for a... I mean, I can't fault them because they've been doing what I've said they should do for years, which is, you know, if you make one mold, you can give us all the characters, because so many characters in the original Mortal Kombat look alike. But then you come down to the real, like, the most major con of this figure, which is that Toys R Us, they're wanting $15 for this. Now, I picked him up, and, of course, there were 2 Mortal Kombat 9 figures out there, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, who both, they were essentially scaled down Jazzwares figures. And I got up there and I'm like, no, those things are supposed to be $10, which I already thought was a ripoff for a 3 3/4 inch figure. So they went ahead and gave me the deal, but these things are actually $15 a pop. I can't recommend buying them for that. I mean, he's a nice enough little figure, but there's a lot of paint error as far as, well, not paint error, but I'd say sloppy paint apps is a much better term. You can kind of see up here on the shoulder pad, and especially the arm where there's so much excess shavings coming off. I mean, I've got bits of little flesh tone paint all over here. Now, that's not to say he's a bad figure. I just think he's just far from perfect. Some paint error, you know, some very base articulation, although not awful articulation. I would feel comfortable with this guy around $6 or $7, like other 3 3/4 inch lines are running. Well, 7 to 8, but this guy more 6 to 7, since he has no accessories, no base, no nothing. And I've heard the big pack with like 5 or 6 ninjas in it is only going to be $40, so $15 is absolutely ridiculous for this. I only bought him because I thought he was $10 in the first place, which is what I paid for him. And I still didn't like that price. And I couldn't just buy the Ninja Pack and not have Scorpion. It would have drove me crazy. So that being said, this is JTrain997. Scorpion's an alright little figure, but yeah, he's far from immaculate or even impressive, to be honest. He's a very basic figure. And if you're not a die-hard Mortal Kombat fan, I'd say skip this guy. And this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.